Hi, I'm Dr. Carl Costco with the Extended Reality Initiative, and this video I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks for how to use 360 videos in your online methods class. So at the Extended Reality Initiative, we have in mind all of these wonderful tools that we're working on, that we're creating to help engage pre-service teachers in watching these experiences in certain ways, getting them to pay attention to certain areas, or drawing their focus on certain types of student actions. Really wonderful things that it's less than a year that we've been funded in this project, so we just haven't developed those tools yet. We're working on it. We're working on getting the videos and then having the tools that go along with them. But right now we're still in the getting the videos and putting them together phase. So that doesn't mean that we haven't used these videos yet. We've actually been using 360 videos in our methods classes for about a little over a year, actually. So we thought that for those of you that are coming on here and thinking, oh, these videos are great, how do I use this and how to use it in online instruction? So that's what this video is about. It's just going to give you a very, very quick overview and some good ideas that I'm not going to go into specific platforms. I'm not going to do like Blackboard or Canvas because different places you're using different things. So just a very straightforward tutorial and tips and tricks, I should say. Go on the XRI website and go to videos. And then you can scroll down and you can find the video that you want. We have at the very bottom, it's really our first foray into Multiperspective. We're going to have a much better interface with that in the coming months. But for now, we have a lot of single perspective videos that are housed here. They also have our own YouTube channel. If you go there, there's a lot more videos that are publicly available. So be sure to go check out our YouTube channel. Not all of those have been put up on the website yet because we like to put some extra materials on here. So we'll go to elapsed time on a clock and you scroll down. There's the video. If I press play, I'm going to pause it. And just even within this window, you or your students can watch the video. You can expand it to full screen. You can do all sorts of stuff. If they are using a smartphone and they're wanting to watch it with, say, Google Cardboard, they need to use the YouTube app. Go look at that tutorial. It's in a separate video. Before watching the video, though, we suggest they download the materials for the actual task that was used here. In this case, it gives a quick overview of the Cuisinart rods manipulative. All of our students actually have a set of these as part of their course, so they can actually use it. And then they can print this up. And this is a Cuisinart rod clock. So print actual size from this PDF. Do not make sure that the shrink to fit option is not selected or it will not match up with any of the rods. This is not to scale. If we had thought about it, maybe we would have created something where you can just print those off yourself, but I think that you can do a quick search in Google and find something useful that way. But if you print this actual size, not scale to fit or shrink to fit, actual size, then a yellow rod will be able to fit in between the little markers between the 12 and the 1 and the 1 and the 2 and so on and so forth. And you may have guessed that you can actually use all the white centimeter cubes and you can put 60 of them all around that edge of that clock, that circle. It is a 60 centimeter circumference circle. It was very, very fun afternoon creating this. And if you scroll down, there's even little cutouts for the 15 clock hands and pairs. So if you really want to get into it, you can cut those out, get your hole punch, get one of those little bracket connector clips and really make a homemade clock that also works with the Cuisinart rods. That's actually what you see in the video. And so when we use these in our class, we actually have folks look at this, play around with it. They may make the clock, they may not, but they do experiment with using the rods on this. At the very least, I would recommend that your students look at the materials so they can understand the task. If you're using this in an online course, and if they have manipulatives or something they can cut out with scissors, so you can make pretend Cuisinart rods. Cuisinart rod company, don't sue me for suggesting that, but you can make the pretend ones in a pinch. I do recommend buying the real ones, but you can cut paper out that's 10 centimeters long, and you can color it whatever color you want to make it, and you can have them do this. And the way that you make sure that they're doing this is most of them have smartphones or at least webcams, and just have them do a little video of them actually demonstrating a problem that you give them. So they have to upload that video to show that they've engaged in this. That's an assignment that they can submit, something that's gradable, very easily gradable, but it demonstrates that they are trying to familiarize themselves with the material. And depending on the task you give them, you may actually be able to assess their understanding of students' reasoning just from that. So the next thing I would suggest, have them watch the video. Now, you can have a couple of things happen here. You can have a discussion, online discussion, where you have the entire class or in small groups talk about the things they noticed, the different student actions they saw, pivotal moments that they thought were really interesting in terms of the thinking and learning of the children. That'll work. That'll be a wonderful thing to do. If you're also doing at this larger grain size of the entire segment here, this entire 8-minute clip, you can have them draw out the layout of the class. So they have to actually look around the class, and they have to draw a layout of what they think the class looks like, where students are in that class, and then they have to talk about the specific students that are around them. Now, this particular clip, it's also in our multi-perspective, so they can actually go to the other tables, and they can talk about what's happening in each of these tables. So you can really get in deep with this. So they draw out the classroom. They can just draw it on a piece of paper, take a picture of it with their smartphone, upload it as an assignment, and then they can pick either one student and talk about them, or you can give them a time frame in the clip, say, 2 minutes 58 seconds to 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Don't use that. I just made it up off the top of my head. And tell them to find the student that is doing X. And they have to use their map to indicate where that student is and to describe or provide some sort of explanatory or some sort of explanation to justify why they think it's that student. And that's kind of like an Easter egg hunt type of feature, or Where's Waldo type of feature, whatever analogy or metaphor you're used to or you're comfortable with, but it gets them to look for specific types of reasonings. And that's another way to get them to really dive in deep and really spend a lot of time with a class like this to start getting to know these students. Because depending on which video you use, whether you use this one or whether, and I'll just show you the multi-perspective example here. And this is why we are not too sure about it, because right now it's not wanting to open for me. All right, so forget about the multiple experience for a minute. It's great recording these as I'm walking through, but assuming that the multi experience works, you can go from one place to another. At the very least, YouTube is very reliable, and you can look in there and have them look at particular students. And what we will try to do is we will try to upload more of these videos. So with those multi-perspective videos, right now we're working on software that will allow for ease of use and ease of going from one point to another as you're in the experience. For now, what we might do is we might just share some of these videos with you so that you can actually have your students go about. And we'll try to do that within the near future, because some of these we have the videos already created, and some of them we don't. So It's going to be a what's available when you're planning type of situation. In fact, this entire video that I'm creating, we were not planning on creating this type of video for several months from now, because we wanted to basically get everything ready for all of you to be able to use this. But with the coronavirus affecting how people are teaching, we felt that we needed to provide some resources for folks so they could use these materials. So I say that kind of as a explanation for why this isn't as smooth as I would like it to be. I mean, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I mean, this is one of those things that I'm just doing this to make sure there's information out there. So let me recap. You go to the XRI website. We have these videos that have materials that are associated with them. You can have your students just use that. You could also go to our channel, and we have some tutorials here, which are also on our website, but we have more videos that are available here. So you'll see videos such as the reviewing equivalent fractions, reviewing fraction comparisons. Those are new that we haven't put on our website yet. We haven't gotten the materials together for them. We just haven't done everything we want to do with them so that they are ready for general consumption. But if you want the videos sooner rather than later, they are there on our channel for you to use. The last thing I want to say is these videos are recorded in a variety of contexts. In some cases, they may be review lessons. In some cases, the teachers are working with students in stations, and a particular station may call for a particular type of interaction. It's good to remind your pre-service teachers of this, that not every single thing that we're capturing is meant to represent an inquiry type of lesson. And as much as we love inquiry style approaches, it's just not pragmatic to do that every single day, every single lesson. So we have a variety here, so folks can see what inquiry style teachers may look like, even when it's not the inquiry style activity that you're doing. It may be a review. It may be a time to really do some explicit teaching with students. And we actually have some of that on here. I ask that you do that simply because these are all very great teachers that we've been able to work with and have opportunities to work with. And as more materials gets up there, it's good to kind of recognize that when and how these were recorded. Obviously, we want to put all that material up on our website, but if you go straight to the YouTube channel, just kind of understand that we'll put the details that we can in here. Last thing I'll note, and I'm going to move my head over to the other side of the screen, we have a place for tutorials. If you go to tutorials, we have a few different clips. This video is going to be in our tutorials list here. There's a how to use VR mode, how to watch a 360 video. That's actually very, very useful to give pre-service teachers when they're first watching this. What we found is, whether it's with a headset or on a laptop, when people start watching a 360 video for the first time, they don't look around. They just look straight ahead as if it's a normal video. Now, the video you're watching this instant is a normal video because I wanted to show what this might look like on a laptop screen. But most of the videos that we try to produce are either 180 or 360 video. We do try to model using the medium in how we communicate to folks. All right, so hopefully this is useful in terms of getting a few ideas out there. I am really interested to see how folks are able to use this. I know that there are folks that are using this in their courses. We actually put ours in Qualtrics, and we, instead of having them draw a heat map, we actually have a heat map, or we have a instead of having them draw a map of the classroom, we have actually drawn a map on the classroom, and we tell them in the Qualtrics survey, after they've watched the 360 video, to click on the 10 places that they paid attention to the most. And then that generates a heat map. It generates a heat map of where they self-report they look at. And so then you can actually use that artifact as a discussion prompt. Why is everyone looking at this part of the classroom during the video? It's something that we've used in face-to-face. And if you have Qualtrics, the heat map question allows for you to do that. And it's a really great conversation starter, and one that could also be used in online courses. But obviously, having them draw their own, having them take video of or take pictures of their engagement with the manipulative, I do suggest video, because then it's having them explain some things, or having them look for specific students or specific student actions in a portion of the video. All of those are really great ways of getting them to engage in 360 video in ways that are both novel and also call for them to attend to student reasoning in a more detailed way. Well, good luck, everyone. And if you learn anything new, please feel free to share with us. We are also learning as we are using this new medium.